What if I told you on the other end of that phone is not who it seems? What if I told you we're not alone out in the forest tonight? Do you believe in the unnatural? Somehow back in 2017, sad to hear that 2017 is like ancient history. In 2017, a little known 48-hour game jam called the Asylum Jam marked the start of one of the oddest and most underreported horror game trilogies the indie side has ever seen. For the uninitiated, a game jam is basically Iron Chef but for games. Make something fast, under pressure, and usually within 48 hours. In a breakout hit came a game called Do You Copy? A game made in 48 hours that still makes you question and speculate long after it's over. Not every answer is given. It harkens back to the endless unknown of indie games that know just how to keep people interested, to no restraint with storytelling. You start off opening your eyes in the middle of the night working at Tower 4 as a ranger in Gracewind Park. Your buddy in the next tower has just called to say he's handing over the night shift to you.
Hello, your computer has virus.
Instantly, you're left in a lonely open darkness. In the quiet, you look around your claustrophobic tower. The place is boarded up in a panic.
Drake? What? Where's the door hole?
The wall is littered with writings and questions. How long have you been up here, and why? The pacing of this game is perfect. Every moment gives you just enough time to let the dread ease in. You can't leave. You're trapped. Maybe that's for the best. Who knows what's out there?
Run. Now.
Okay, we are cooked.
The horror is built on the limitations you have. You got a radio and a light. That's it. No guns, no dodge roll, just the uncertainty of what awaits below the tree line. Listen to that ambience. This is how you use the limitations of development time to make to your advantage. Just when you feel a little lost, you get a call.
Hello? Hello? Is anyone there? I saw this channel listed on one of the trails out here. I need you to help me. I'm lost and something is chasing me. Please, you have to help me.
The night ensues. You know it's a tug and pull between something chasing and the chased. In time, you see if you can save the hiker. You question who the hiker really is, if he's trustworthy. Little snippets of something else lurk closely. The music is tense, the sound effects are unsettling. I won't spoil all of it. I think it's an amazing try, and it's free, so how could that go wrong? But the choices you make can have vastly different endings. And sometimes, silence is the best answer.
You're going to die out here.
My more favorite aspect is never really seeing the monster. Most indie animations can make or break a monster, as you'll see later, along with its design. And this game leaves it up to you to figure it all out. This game blew me away as a 14-year-old, and this game got a lot of recognition. Its quality brought it through to some of the big shots of YouTube. Today on Game Jolt, Do You Copy has over 1 million views, 1,000 plus likes, and 1,000 comments. That's pretty good for a game made in 48 hours.
304 New Life Street, Squidward speaking.
Need your help. You need to kill me.
There is no way I am moving back there, SpongeBob.
Now off this incredible leap for Space Octopus Studios, they decided somewhere to make a sequel side story in a game jam of 2018. A Gracewind Tale, Midnight Shift. A still in-universe game, almost like the Fears to Fathom style releases. Whereas Do You Copy has you trapped in a watchtower, guiding someone via radio and dealing with something in the wilderness, Midnight Shift traps you in a video store. Limited exits, closed-in feeling, screens, monitors. That shifted environment changes what scares are possible. Like its predecessor, Midnight Shift has its roots in the game jam community. Now let me talk to you a little honestly for a moment. This is an indie game, and finding information that is trustworthy and reliable is really hard. This is not some AAA game that has people documenting its every move every single day.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
This is just a little trilogy of games. The files claim that 2018 Game Jam is where it came out. I don't know how long this Game Jam was, I can't find sources, and I'm a little YouTuber, so I doubt I could just contact the developers. So let me be clear, some of this now is speculation, and I'm also going to have to be pretty harsh. This game is bad.
Sin City wasn't made for you.
Like, really bad. The menu is cheap and these terrible stock sounds to them. The game has an ugly bluish filter that you can't get rid of in settings that made me think something was wrong with my PC. The models look stock assets, the graphics are terrible, there's no art style like the first game, and the enemies have the stock asset stand and movements. When you start the game, you have no build-up. You have no time to get to know your environment, if it even is one, no time to immerse yourself. It's just bang, whiplash. You don't have any intrigue of do you copy. It feels like it was made by a totally different team. You start as a store clerk at Gracewind Video Store when a sudden random dude starts subjecting you to a game show. Are the challenges even interesting, you may ask? Not in the slightest. Grab things and put them on shelves. Have basic assets operate like a weeping angel. And you could just sit in the corner and nobody can touch you. The TV is not static, it's a screenshot of static. You just add this one seeming thing in the back room and it just crumples like a gravity was just turned on.
You know what? Is that actually happened? Of course it happened. I think this is.
The first ending I got was this.
Bro, alright.
What? What was that? I became the host? Now I just get kicked to the menu? And even on the second playthrough I did things differently. It ended the same. My only guess is that maybe the game jam was like a day? Maybe even less? No charm, no intrigue. It was not good. It felt like every other indie game on the market. Indie horror game to be exact. Instead of being shocked like do you copy, I was shocked how boring it was. The only thing that got me was cheap. You have to stay looking at the TV screens for a time limit and ignore the sounds behind you. And I thought they were a bunch of fake noises and turn around the dude was there. Pretty basic, but it was not expecting it.
I have to say, I'm impressed. And that's just not empty flattery. You've really got a knack for doing exactly what you're
This honestly feels like a disservice to have any, even the slightest reference to the first game. Maybe it was tacked on as a selling point, I don't know. And we may never know. And I really just can't even recommend to even just try it, maybe for historical purposes, if you even care. It was a terrible time. And that was it. Or so we thought.
Hello? I need your help. I need you to find my son, Michael.
A direct sequel. Not a jam game, not a tech demo. The real deal. You play as a detective looking for a missing person lost in Gracewind Park. We're back. Use your investigative skills to find out the truth. Discover more history of Gracewind as you discover the truth of Michael Leeds. A direct sequel. A real direct sequel. Not done for a game jam as far as I know. With all the time they need to make it great. This is the perfect opportunity. Instead of being on the other end of the line, you're out in the Gracewind Park, boots on the ground. No towers for me. Their graphics are the highlight of this game. You're here looking for Michael Leeds. The door was locked, so I look around, and the light literally moved at Mach 10, leaving me in pitch black and no idea where to go. I was very disoriented by that. And the ambiance is gone the second the sun goes down for some reason. It was really upsetting because it was good. It was the ambiance of the first game. Now it's dead quiet, dead dark, and I'm surely about to die. I eventually find the brown key blending into the brown wall. The house is creepy and cramped. I'll admit it, it's a little uncomfortable. You fiddle around and you'll come to see we went from horror to a point-and-click adventure. And I mean that almost literally. There are no scares in this game, except for the ending. The story is only given in stupid notes that are all on different dates. I read books to read books. I play video games to play video games. You find this chained hatch under the bed and that piques your interest. What's under there? You need to seek out a bunch of knickknacks to unlock it. I have no idea what's going on in the story. It's all so obscure and blatantly read off. Apparently this girl fell in the Gracewind Lake and was saved by this lake's woman. And that lake woman bound her together in some way? I'm not exactly sure. People go missing, blame is laid out. A girl gets locked in the basement and she wants my body?
Be strong, Harry. Avenge me.
Avenge me! No!
Another person in the house starts getting weird and turning into the Goat Man, the monster from the first game. I think the librarian said it best here.
But I've really come to dislike games that deliver their story through written notes, because it's so cliche and it kind of necessitates poor writing, that it doesn't feel like you're discovering anything, it feels like it's spoon-feeding you story, which kind of takes away from the exploration aspect.
The puzzles were so horrific, so badly designed that everything is confusing. You have not even the slightest hint on where to go. Some people might like that, but it was to the point where I was just walking in circles, looking for an identical texture next to an identical texture. You get all these objects right, you slap them in, and oops, you messed up somehow, and the Goat Man kills you.
Him. He's been so devoted to keeping me safe. Maybe next time, though, things will go. Stay calm. It'll all be over soon. After all, it only hurts for a minute.
That ruined the entire mythos of the Goat Man from the first game in an instant. He's a transformed dude and looks mega lame, nothing like the drawings that kept you unsettled. The animations are cheap and you die in a dark screen. What a joke for the first game, that seems so tacked on. And the piano I spent a long time on, there was this purple key and you think, oh, I gotta line up this purple key because that's where the start of these keys go on the chart in front of you. No, you don't have to figure any of that out. The one thing that might be kind of fun to figure out, you literally just hit the purple key when it tells you to. Huh? Alright, back to when the Goat Man kills you. Okay, you're put back. A time loop. Goody goody, me another time loop game. You go in and this phantom gives you hints on what to do every time you die. They're still incredibly vague, like melt, the key, the water. I mean, what? Is this a guessing game? I'll go and remake every one of the trinkets and all their obscurity. The eye by adding the oil to the water. Burning the little candle man in the fire. Burning the frame and opening the music box to give me a necklace that breaks the inventory. I had to get a horn with the second music page. All this took me like an hour of trying, because you have to keep dying sometimes to get a little farther or to get a hint. I put them all in, and what happens? The exact same thing. And I did this 3 more times, trying different combinations. I was about to crash out. I was so upset. It had been forever of agony. I wanted to like these games. I liked the first one so much. I gave up and looked up a video on it. Turns out you need to put it all in a specific order, which is what I speculated, and I was about to play the game for the 5th run around. It turns out, if you do it right, you actually end up being able to go back to the old watchtower, which is really cool. We get to see it again and learn more about it. And then the end, you leave happily ever after. You don't even get to see what's in the basement. Are you kidding me? What did I even just play? I was not scared, just angry. Not intrigued, just irritated. Not immersed, just lost. Yet again, this feels so foreign to the first game. It's almost alien. It feels like such an offensive stain on the original game. I truly wish it didn't exist. It feels like a game that tacked on an amazing first game for engagement, just like the second. This is for real a 0 out of 10 game, and I know this all sounds very mean, but I'm just being honest. And for once this time in all my research, we actually get a response from the devs. The great mystery of these games wasn't the games, it was actually what was going on with the devs. A post 3 years ago on Game Jolt gives us the insight. The original goal was to make a small game similar to Do You Copy? We wanted to make it over a month instead of 48 hours to have more time to polish it, but overall kept the scope of it small. It was going to be another story in the Gracewind universe with focuses on detective gameplay of clues and challenges and bringing back the dialogue mechanic with the mysterious character. While the scope of the game was small, it was much more complex than anticipated. We kept working, and the finish line kept moving later and later. More people had to move on with their lives, so we had fewer people working on it. We had some people to play the state of the game, and it was clear there was some conflict about what the game even was. We decided to cut the dialogue mechanic to focus on the detective part. Since we were spending more time on the game, we looked at different ways to incorporate more lore of Do You Copy? We had a character artist and an animator, so we decided to throw the Goat Man in. While the inclusion was cool, the character artist got busy with life, and we didn't have much to iterate on. In the end, the game was mostly finished by one person over the course of almost 3 months, finishing every feature, implementing every remaining content, and fixing every bug he could. The save loading system took the majority of its time at the end with the looping nature of the game. I hope this gives you a bit more insight into why and how things turned out the way they did. There's a lot more that could be written about the learnings we had. And with those final tragic words from the developers at the Space Octopus Studios, they went on their own jobs and the studio faded into hibernation. I love the idea of bringing your works together in established, expanded universes. Not many games do that in the indie scene. It's really a sad story if you think about it, but you can see why this all turned out so unfortunate. You see Nixon, who made The Joy of Creation. He was able to make several games and is releasing one soon on Steam. You see Frictional Games with Amnesia that reportedly had only 5 people working on it, and they grew and got better over time, eventually becoming a really well-known company. Something like Inscription is one of a kind and New Restraint. And when you look here at Space Octopus Studios, they had lightning in a bottle and let it fizzle. Maybe life got in the way, maybe ambition outgrew resources. Either way, it was a shame. I truly wish they had the time, the budget, the team of the dreams. But that's just being unreasonable. Life never lets our plans go smoothly, and I wish them the best. I know this was such an odd and long video from me, but I hadn't known about the sequels to the first game till just last month. You may not have found this as interesting as me, but I hope it was at least funny and entertaining. At least try to do that with my videos. Thank you all for the help you've given me. And I don't want to be emotional, but I never expected to become anything really. Thank you all. I appreciate every one of you. So if you want to help me out, do the things that helps the algorithm, blah blah blah, we all know that. But stay positive, never let go of your dreams, and I'll see you next time. Bye.